All right. Okay. Just gonna sit tight here for a second. So, first coaching session. Should be interesting. Kind of excited to see how this is going to play out. Try to learn a few things. Maybe break a bad habit or two, or at least start the process of breaking a bad habit or two. We'll see. Oh, is there a fly in here? Really? You fucker. So, oh man, what's that? So, today we have a coaching session with Brian Lockwood, Almeida Racing Academy driver coach. Super excited to hear what he has to say about what I do wrong. Because there's no shortage of that. Okay, so let's see. I got cameras, everything's working. I think the visuals should be fine.
Yo, Josh, how's it going, man?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome,
Awesome.
welcome.
Thank you.
So, why now? That's the burning question,
I
And I'd like to ask that, like, why now, not last month and not next month?
I 100% expected you to ask me that question, and I absolutely don't have an answer.
Okay.
It just, I don't know, it seemed like the right time for some reason. I don't really know what to expect or how this is going to play out, but I don't know. It's been on my mind for a little bit, a few weeks,
Yeah.
and I just kind of felt like, okay, I'm Why not? Let's see where we're at.
Yeah. Hey, works for me. Okay. Well, then we're seeing where we're at. Is there anything in particular that's on your mind with your driving coming in?
Specifically, no. Honestly, I'm just kind of curious as to what a more seasoned driver would see in what I'm doing. Just it's that perspective.
Yeah, yeah. 100%. Okay. Um, is there anything you're looking for from me as far as like style choices, any particular requests, or you know, if it's just, hey, let's just see how it goes, that's fine with me too.
Oh, you mean like coaching style, or is that what?
Yeah, yeah, coaching
Oh,
style, exactly.
I don't know. I haven't really given too much thought to that. I guess it just kind of depends on what we see or what you see, and then we would just kind of go from there, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't worry, I don't need an answer to that question to like, we'll feel it out. We'll do
Yeah,
what's working. But just, in case you had anything, I would like to ask.
right. Yeah, nothing specific. I'm just I don't know, just curious of how this whole process works, and yeah,
Sounds good. Well, let's fill in that curiosity.
yes,
Um, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we'll do is just a quick warm-up run. I'll have you screen share 4 or 5 laps, like 4 laps if it's a long track, 5 laps if it's a normal size track.
okay,
And I might have an instruction or two throughout, but for the most part, I'll be pretty quiet, just letting you do your thing.
okay,
And we'll really kick things off from there, okay?
right on. All right, I got it loaded up.
What's that? Sorry?
I said I got the sim loading up.
Gotcha. Perfect. Perfect.
So my thought process was, um, I felt like this might be a good time because I've spent so much time at spa recently, and I'm
Okay.
comfortable there. And I figured, well, let's see what what Brian would say about my inputs and the things that I'm doing, tendencies that I have that I know or don't know, in a combination that I'm quite comfortable with because I've done it a lot recently.
Yeah, perfect. So this is like definitely, I think I get where you're going with this. This is as practiced, as comfortable as you can get. What's next, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I kind of already know where my casual my reasonable pace is. I know what I'm capable of if I'm really in the zone,
Okay.
but I don't know. I mean, obviously there's always more speed to be had, but I
Right.
don't exactly know what I'm missing. You know what I mean? To
Yeah,
get
yeah.
there.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Do you want to just see like my center screen?
Whatever's most convenient. If it's center or if it's all three, I mean, either way works.
I don't know if it matters if it's what's easier to see for you. I can just do all three, I guess.
Okay.
Let me see. Share applications.
And yeah, we'll give this a shot. If this is causing stutters or something, we can always, we can stay on Discord for voice if that works for you, and then do the stream through YouTube.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens here. I
Okay.
think it might be a lot better if I just minimize Discord so my GPU is not actually trying to process the video.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
And I will have to go to push to talk because there's a lot of noise in here when I'm driving. All
Copy, copy.
right.
I know you guys didn't have the easiest Spot 24, but did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a really good time actually.
Good, okay.
I mean, yeah, we had some hiccups and whatnot, but I mean, overall, I feel like it was. I think the potential of the team was visible.
Some, yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for, right? That's kind of so much time goes into the prep of these things that I'd much rather have a crappy race and really good teamwork and really good prep than the other way around.
Yeah, yeah, it's still a positive experience at the end of the day.
But good. Okay. Well, show me what you got, man.
Alrighty, a couple seconds here.
Josh, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. You ready to run some laps?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Copy.
It's a bit of a process when you have a lot going on in a rig.
Ah, I see. I see.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is perfect.
Man, I just got new gloves. This is the first time I put it on, and they are snug. All right.
Oh no!
Well, I forgot how bad that is.
No need to push here. We're just getting warmed up.
Gotta remember those tires.
What's that?
I say, just forgot how bad the tires are on the outlap.
Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. give me 2 more here.
10-4.
Interesting. Really, really interesting.
Deputy Fox, last position.
Okay, let's take a second. Why do you think that last lap was so much faster than the rest?
I wasn't overdriving it as bad as the one before.
You weren't overdriving as bad as the one before?
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't. I felt like I was being more deliberate with
Yeah.
my braking. Um, be I guess being more deliberate with everything. Um, my steering rate, getting into turns, being more patient. Um, Getting to the corner. I mean, I didn't miss a couple things, obviously, but um, yeah, yeah, I kind of, I made a couple mistakes, pretty significant mistakes in the lap previous, and that's when I know I'm like making a lot of adjustments, like post apex. That's like my signifier that I need to like back things up a little bit, pay attention to my brake pressures and my steering rates, and follow the lines that I want to follow, hit the apexes, and yeah. So it's not uncommon
Gotcha.
for me to have like a kind of a crappy lap and then a significantly better lap right afterwards because I'm refocusing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Did you notice the difference in straight line braking?
Um, Other than I was more focused on it. I think maybe just the car is coming to me and I kind of know what I'm gonna get in a feel for what I can get away with, I suppose. Um, I don't know.
Hmm. Okay, interesting. Because what something that I noticed was, and I thought this was gonna be just what we were generally talking about, but then it got a lot more flavorful, we could say.
Okay, okay.
So before that last lap, your brake pressure in a straight line was varying quite a lot. And it was, sometimes touching the limit, but there was a lot of like kind of back and forth through the straight line braking zone. It's kind of going up, down, up, down. It was wobbling a little bit, but it wasn't like a, physical lack of control wobble. It was more like a trying to find how hard we want to press it.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas that last lap was a lot more just, okay, I'm gonna press it this hard.
Yeah.
And that set you up massively for the rest of the corner. Whereas before, there was just that inconsistency. Like, we never know how fast we're gonna get to the corner because we're messing with the brake pressure.
Right, right.
But then that last lap, you're much closer to the limit in a straight line, and the car did a lot more of what you expected it to do, right? We're in a much tighter range going into each corner.
Yeah.
That being said, it still didn't look quite. It didn't look as settled as it could be. It was just like way, way more settled. So I think we can keep searching in that direction in kind of, but for two reasons, right? This is kind of two birds, one stone. I think working on this will both help your baseline. Like if we're always looking for this, if we're optimizing this a little bit more, um, your floor will be significantly higher. And this will also lead to just finding a little bits more pace.
Okay.
Generally, when you're driving the car, does it feel more predictive or more reactive? Like, are you making a lot of mini tweaks? Are you kind of expecting to make these little mini tweaks?
I would say it's mostly predictive.
Okay.
mostly, and unless I have like a little bit of a, I'm on the edge, a little more than I was expecting to, then obviously you're making a correction, but
Right, of course, of course.
probably not as much as that as I don't know, not as much as that. I don't know if there should be more, if you're closer to the limit and you need to kind of play with the car a little bit more or what, but
No, no. So it's hard to describe in one word because ideally we're predicting a lot and we're a little bit reactive within a really tight window, but we don't need to like we get there not by thinking about being predictive and reactive in different spots.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
Overall, we definitely want to be much more predictive than reactive.
okay.
What I want to make sure, if you're down to work on this, I'd love to talk about like, is there a way we can be predictive that's gonna get us closer to the limit more consistently?
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. Kind of get more comfortable around it, maintaining it so that, your baseline is more, well, hmm. Let me think for just a sec about how I want to approach this.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Can we do an active reset into the bus stop? I want to do that braking zone for a little bit.
Okay,
And weirdly, I actually think it will be better to do this on colder tires.
okay. Like the outlap or like the second lap?
Yeah, like outlap. Just the first time we get there, let's set that reset point.
Okay.
What that'll do is, first of all, cold tires are a little bit uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
Um, so we're gonna have to make sure we're finding it. The other thing is if we go over the limit, we'll really feel it a lot more than on warm tires because cold tires, the grip drops off much more sharply when we go over.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Let's go ahead and do that. Um, just get out there, feel out the cold tires, set that reset point, and I'll explain what I want to do once we get there.
All right, reset, reset, reset. Can't forget. to this corner.
Okay, so what I want to do is take a few tries and brake at the limit, maintain the limit until you reach a complete stop. So just a complete straight line braking until complete stop. Good. Perfect. Okay, I know exactly what's going on.
So easy.
So, what's that?
I said so easy.
Well, I wouldn't call it easy because what we're about to do definitely isn't easy, but I think you'll find it very, very helpful.
Okay, okay.
So, did you feel any difference there when you were like just braking in a straight line until a complete stop versus your typical straight line braking?
I can't say that I did.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. You'll feel the difference soon. But what I can tell you is that watching was night and day.
Okay,
When you
interesting.
just focused on slowing down in a straight line, your precision was really good. It looked predictive, it looked confident, you're in a nice tight range.
Interesting.
There was no uncertainty there. Which means the uncertainty that I'm seeing has to be coming from the combination of like the corner coming up with the straight line braking.
Like a subconscious distraction or something like that. Like I'm worried about the turn.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And yeah, it's funny. There were a couple times where you like started turning into the straight. Okay, so here's what we can do. We're gonna have to get really intentional about we are straight line braking until we are done straight line braking. Until we're done straight line braking, nothing changes, right?
Okay.
Wheel is
okay.
straight, going in a straight line. When we're done, when you decide you're done, that's when the brake changes, the steering wheel changes. Until you decide you're done, until that like point where it's like, okay, I'm turning now. It's nothing but just straight wheel, straight line braking. Can we try that?
Okay. So just doing the reset but actually navigate the turn.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Nope, too late.
Did you maintain limit there until the turn?
I would imagine not, because I blew the apex.
Good. Nice. let's slow down that transition. Actually, if anything, let's make sure that transition is too slow rather than too fast.
Okay.
So, nice and smooth, assertive but smooth movements to that fully lateral. Yeah, there you go. That'll give you kind of more time to decide, okay, this is the point where I let off the brake and I start turning the steering wheel.
Okay. No.
Good, really good. Slow down, nice and steady. Okay, let's make a little tweak here.
Okay.
Would it make sense if I told you to make a ring with your index and thumb? Index finger and thumb?
Can do that. And just
Okay.
like not use the rest of my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Until you start turning. Once you start turning, you can use your hands. But in
Oh.
a straight line, just your index fingers
That's funny.
and your thumbs.
That's funny because I do that sometimes. Like when I realize that I'm not light hands enough in the straight braking, I do that. I should probably do it more often.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, good shout. It's sort of. Oh, no, it's still happening. Better. There it is. So what I'm looking for is for you to be super, super intentional about when we're slowing down, we're staying in a straight line, not like, 2 degrees of steering, dead straight. Really just optimizing the slowing, right? Doing that one thing at a time.
Gotcha.
make sure you're parallel, you're aligned with the white line on the left until you're committing to turning. There we go, that's better. Good. Parallel to that white line. Almost touch that curb on the left before you turn it. Yes! That's it. Are you noting any differences?
Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes from attempt to attempt, but I have to formulate a thought.
Sure.
I did notice initially the first handful of attempts when we were after you had talked about being decisive about straight line and then entry, straight line and then entry, that I was like my steering entering was like not decisive. Like I've caught myself like turning in too early and then having to back out again, you know.
Yeah, it was
did
kind of
that a
like
few-
drifting in, yeah.
Yeah. But I think this does kind of highlight some I guess an issue that sometimes or things that I've noticed about the lines that I take, not necessarily the lines that I intend to take, but how I end up driving them.
Sure.
Because I do it at I think I do that at La Source a lot, where I don't stay out straight long enough. You know what I mean? I make that actual like the late entry and the early exit too tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
pinching it too much. So that's I'm guessing it's a bad habit that I have of just like not staying out and straight long enough and not like blending the straight brake with the turn in
Yeah,
too
good.
much.
So, why do you think that happens? Because I know you don't intend to do that, right? It just kind of feels natural sometimes.
Yeah, I would say more often than not, it's because there's something about that technique that's comfortable. Like it's subconscious, you know what I mean? Because I find myself, I find that I do it because it works. Because I see my times drop. I see my deltas drop. Which really just illustrating to me that I'm trying to perfect a bad technique. Like, and I don't know that, but that's probably what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. What makes it really easy to do, and actually kind of a like it makes perfect sense that you might have to actively avoid doing that. Because if you start turning in a little early, if you start angling toward the corner, well, it's a lot easier to hit your apex. It doesn't mean
Okay.
it's faster, but like we're more pointed toward the apex earlier, there's less change we have to do to get to that point on track.
Okay. Yeah.
Which also may play a role in why it was faster for you, like why it tends to be faster for you to do that. Like if we're going from a place of not quite getting it right, doing it the quote unquote like theoretically correct way, and then you start nailing your apex by pinching off the entry. Well, now you're just giving yourself a feedback loop of, yeah, let's keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's funny. The reason that this is such a big deal at this point, at this stage of your driving, because, like, if you were half a second, 1 second slower, this doesn't matter so much. But
Okay.
at this stage, I really do think it's the number one thing holding you back from really dialing in your inputs at every stage. Because that's just creating some confusion, right? If you're giving an input that you're not completely aware of, well, now we're not getting clear data on straight line braking. So we're losing confidence on how hard we can hit the brake. Or we might actually accidentally go over the limit sometimes. And that's just making the feedback that you get throughout the rest of the corner unclear as well, because there's that variance now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your inputs on their own, like when we isolate things, your inputs look really good. I think there's a lot of gain you can make. That's not saying like this is a tough one to adjust, but with this adjustment, you have like the motor skills, the awareness to make some serious gains.
Cool. Yeah. It's interesting. I guess what's interesting about it the most is that it's something that I've seen. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah, sure.
like mildly aware of, but probably didn't realize the significance of it.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense because I mean, you're a smart guy. You're coming to all the workshops. I'm not going to tell you anything completely new. But yeah, without that experience, it's really hard to know, oh, this is actually really important.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, if you can make a habit of really isolating the straight line, like on its own, if you change that and nothing else, your times won't change all that much. It's when we layer the next step of, well, now you can much more clearly optimize the limit. That's when the gains are made.
Okay, okay, I got you.
We, that being said, it would be very difficult, and I honestly wouldn't recommend trying to do both at once. As far as like your primary focus goes,
Hmm.
I would just start with separating that like straight line is straight and on the limit, and then turning in once we're done, slowing down while going straight. Once that separation becomes a little more natural for you, then it's like, okay, well, there's free time.
Gotcha.
Does this all make sense? Is this connecting?
Yeah, yeah, it does, because I've noticed that, and I think that's part of the reason why in those initial attempts where I was like turning in too early, it's because I'm more optimizing the straight line braking, and I'm slower than I would have been at the turn in point. So I'm just like about to cut the corner.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that. So a strategy we can use while we're practicing this is, I mean, it's a sim. You can just cut the corner.
Right.
And obviously, we don't want to cut the corner, but that's a very clear signal. When we're isolating, now we have a lot more clear signals.
Right.
If you cut the corner, that's a super clear signal that you can brake later. If you miss the apex, that's a super clear signal that, well, one of two things, right? You either turn in earlier or you brake earlier, or maybe even both.
Yeah.
But yeah, like right now, with them blended, we don't really know what to make of it. When they're more clearly separated, it's, oh, okay, adjust this one thing, adjust this one other thing. It becomes, like, the decision-making process becomes a lot more clear.
Right.
So, key idea is don't ever sacrifice this because you're missing your apex, because you're not getting to the right place on track. The answer isn't going to be to sacrifice this. It's going to be to tweak, like, your braking point or your turn in, or what have you.
Right. Yeah. I probably need to do a better job of like finding turn-in markers. I'm pretty bad at that. Like really bad at it.
That's kind of okay. I think we can lean into that.
Okay.
I don't really like using turn-in markers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I find that, and I've seen this in clients as well as myself, if I'm focused on a specific turn-in marker, I'm more focused on the timing than the behavior of the car.
Okay.
So
you would recommend stick with the braking marker and then just letting all the data about, how much pressure you're applying, tire sounds to dictate when you should turn in.
Yeah, the shorthand is when it feels like you've slowed down enough, which is more vague than I'd like it to be.
Yeah, of course.
But there is truth to it, because if we let it be vague for a handful of attempts, we start to really get a sense of, oh, my natural feeling is leading to me turning in too late. So I need to work on turning in a little earlier than I have been. And then it's just a relative, like, okay, earlier than what has been feeling right. Okay, that worked. Keep doing that.
Gotcha.
I hate how vague that is, but I haven't found anything more effective that doesn't sacrifice behavior.
I totally understand that, because I have historically not been. I don't really use marks outside of initial braking.
Yeah.
For almost anything, unless it's like a really tight hairpin and you just, you can't see the exit very well. Then I might, you know what I mean. But for the most part, I've always just kind of relied on that sixth sense, so to speak.
That's honestly not a bad approach at all. I think as we start to like super dial in, and I mean top level, we may want to get a more clear image of a specific apex point. But even then, that's not like something we're actively aiming for. It's more informational.
Yeah,
Your oil
I
tank is
got you.
getting high.
Just as a reference point, like, oh, I am headed toward this apex that I know I should be hitting. Okay, this corner's nailed. I get on throttle. I don't even think about it. Oh, I'm slightly later. Okay, I got to delay throttle just a second.
Right.
And that just lets you make like super precise adjustments. But until then, I completely agree with you. No need.
I got you.
So, do you have any questions for me at this stage?
No, because I never do.
Okay.
I'm too much of a thinker. Like I process. I'll have a question tomorrow or in like 3 hours.
Okay. Well, good. In that case, when you have a question, shoot me a message, okay?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And we'll continue dialing this in. I am aware, like, we have a few minutes left, and even if we get the bulk of the session done, I really hate leaving early with just like, okay, we leave early, bye. What I do instead, we can chill for a few minutes, maybe take a couple laps, see how you're doing, or if you prefer, we could take a break now and then schedule like a quick 10-minute check-in follow-up in a couple days. Make sure you're on the right track, see if there's anything else we want to tweak.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Cool, let's do that.
Yeah, that's good.
We can do it. Oh, you're not doing the league, right? So you're going to be pretty flexible around that.
Yeah.
What's your weekend look like? So Saturday,
Saturday
I'm
is
blocked
bad.
off. Oh, okay. How about Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday should be good.
Do you want to do like kind of midday or evening?
Midday. Yeah.
Okay, let's shoot for noon then. And like I said, just like quick check-in, look at a couple laps, make sure we're on the right track, or make any tweaks and just answer any questions, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Good stuff, man. Is
Thank
this about what you were hoping to get out of this?
Yes, it's exactly what I was hoping to get out of it.
Cool.
Like something
Glad to
that
hear.
I wasn't aware of. Even if it's something that I was mildly aware of, but it's still like, hey, this really needs attention. It's not just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it's not just this one corner. You know what I mean? Like I probably do this all the time. So it really
Oh, yeah,
needs to be,
absolutely.
you know.
Yeah, definitely, you know, better and worse in some corners, but
Right.
I saw it present everywhere, yeah.
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, like I said, whenever that question or those questions come up, shoot me a message, okay?
Absolutely.
Cool. Good stuff, man.
Very good.
I'll let you go.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, and absolutely. Have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Well, that was super cool, actually. Super cool. Where's my Discord at? Here. Okay. Hang that up. So yeah, that's really interesting. How some of those points I was aware of, but not aware to the extent of how significant they were. So we're really gonna have to start breaking those two things down more deliberately. So that's probably gonna be a tall order. because it's a habit, right? So we know that there's a bad habit that needs to be broken, and you really only break bad habits when you were intentionally trying to break them. So this is probably going to take a while, but I'm going to have to be very intentional about, very methodically looking at every corner and how I approach it, where my focus is. So yeah, cool. Well, I guess that's it. We'll see where we go from here.